Hello. I thought I'd talk a little bit about the bracket system that has been introduced to the Commander. And it's good to acknowledge that it is on the beta stage. And what I'm gonna be focusing is bracket tree. And I think the bracket tree is quite a spectrum. You know, there's a whole scale of what will actually count as bracket tree, and I think there's like a lot of stuff falls with the bracket system falls in the category bracket tree, but in the end it might not indicate the power level of the deck so clearly. So I'm just gonna go and I'll show you my bracket tree deck that I came up with. I've been working on this, and like I've said in some other video, I just got back into Magic. I haven't really bought cards in years, so my collection is outdated, I would say. But I had this one, I had bought a booster, I don't know the set, actually even. So, but I had this laying around, and I liked what it's doing. So when it comes in the table, I look at the 7 top cards of the library. I can really reveal an aura and put it in my hand. And then when it's on board, in the board and on the battlefield, and I attach an aura to a creature I control, I can create a 1/1 white human soldier. And I was like, okay, that sounds cool. And then I started going through my auras, and I had a few cards in mind also for this deck that I thought like, well, it could work well with all the auras I'm gonna put in there. But the thing is, like, this deck is bracket 3, and I'm gonna show you can probably get the sense of the idea of the power level of this deck. And I can say, like, well, if I get lucky, I get my commander on board and get a good aura, and that can get me forward in the game, but I might still and I've been getting stomped really with it looks like I got something going on, but in the end I don't even know. And that's why I think this deck would be on the if we go bracket 3, like, and then put like 1 to 10 scale on there, I would think this would be, on the lower side of that scale on bracket 3. But yeah, let's go through some cards. I'll show you what I put in here and why. So and one of the things like is that my collection doesn't have all the newest cool stuff, powerful creatures, whatnot. So I just made a deck with what I had, pretty much. Okay, Celestine Charm. So +2/+2 trample, but this also works as an removal. Exile target creature with power 5 or greater. So that's actually why I put it in there. But in other situations, I can use it in a different way. Then, Root-born Defenses makes my creatures indestructible for a turn, but also populates. So that's also a thing why I put that there. Might cut it off. I don't know. I haven't played with this deck that much, so still kind of seeing and trying to figure out. I have a bunch of cards I've been swapping around and seeing what I like, and exactly like what I like and think will work and have a good synergy going on. True Conviction, well, might get good. Today almost actually got good. Just got mania screwed. So that's one thing I need to do a few changes on my mana base, but yeah, it would have been nice to get that on board. Alright, and then we start with the auras. So ethereal armor, this can be really good. So yeah, you gotta have a soul ring, right? Gift of immortality can be good. Then I thought this can net me a good amount of cards, because yeah, I'm playing a lot of enchantments. Slippery Karst, might change that one up. It can be good, yeah. Path to Exile, so a little bit of a removal. Expedition map to get me a certain land if I need to. And this is the thing, so if I get lucky and I pick this up, I can easily be in a situation where my opponent has to pay 5 or 6 mana to per creature to attack me. So that of course doesn't protect me from any kinds of weird combos that just ping you for damage or anything like that. But against creatures, that can be annoying, I'd say. And it's a card I actually built a standard deck with around this. When that set, I can't remember the name of, came out, and the deck was actually had a lot of potential, but I had already kind of stopped playing, so I wasn't buying singles anymore, so I really didn't get the deck up to the level I wanted to. But even then, it was actually pretty good in the meta that was going on in standard. Oh yeah, Terrace to Dawn. And here's why I like creatures that make tokens. So I do have a few cards that make more of them. And this is kind of the other point of this deck. I want to have a bunch of creatures on the board. And yeah, this is one of those cards. I was like, yeah. And a funny thing is, I bought one booster of this when it came out. And the booster was at my friend's. Apparently for a long time. He kept it for me, stored it for me. And now that I got back in the Magic, he was like, hey, by the way, I got this card that's worth some money. So you want it? You want to come and get it? And I was like, oh, what? And then I was like, holy, what? So yeah, that was a pretty good find. Didn't think much of it at the time when I opened the booster up. So I was like, and that happens sometimes. All right, and then growing ranks. I think this goes well in there. I had an arbor in here because I do have Green Sun seen it. I think I actually played Perting Pod, but now that I cut it, I'm kind of like, meh. I probably want a duo land in there instead of that, just to get more stable, how do you say that? Mana base, so I don't screw myself over and I can cast stuff that actually requires, that kind of mana. Explore, yeah, because why not? But then I think there could be actually something better. I could swap that for Restoration Angel. So, to bounce, I got some creatures here that work well with that. Some ramp, and again, an aura. So I can dig that up with Siona if I need to. Fetches, of course. And hey, I do alter cards. So if you need something altered, go and check my website up. And I also have the coffee shop where this is actually on sale there. So you can go and check that out as well if there's, see if there's something you like. All right, so this, I just found it, chucked it in for fun. Haven't played with it yet, but again, create two green wolves when this goes in the graveyard, and it gives +4/+4. I think it's a good target for Siona. And then this one's been fun, and again with the stacked up with some other auras, makes my creature flying too. So you know, I can do some damage, and then I might get a huge bunch of saplings on the board. Enlightened Tutor, gotta have. I think that's one of those game changer cards that actually push your deck from bracket 3 to bracket 4, and I'll be talking about that especially in a moment. Keen Sense, like drawing cards. That's just for messing with the opponents, and of course a flying creature, good to have. I can do stuff. Armada Worm, one of these, like, yeah, well, I'll put it there. You know, I get 5/5 green worm tokens, and then I can populate, at least try. And if I have something like this on the board, of course, I get 5 big worms with the price of 6 mana. So, and then I wanted to have a Karuk. Again, the loyalty abilities on that one seemed good and interact good with everything else going on. So I was like, meh, let's chuck Garrick in Boar Umbra. Then this guy, I mean, I think fits well again with these. So Mana Dork, that I put in for fun because, yeah, well, my life total can change. So come on, come at me. So, and then Elish Norn to try and pump up my tokens, and especially if I'm creating a bunch of 1/1s, I need them bigger. Thespian Stage, not sure about that. I don't have myself anything worth basically copying. This is the fun bit, pretty slow, so I'm not sure about that. Rancor, good old Rancor. This has been fun. Armadillo Cloak. So basically gives my creature lifelink and trample +2/+2. So today I had it on this guy, and it did stuff. This is a fun creature. It might get big fast, and then it has the populate option. So this has been fun a few times. So yeah, I can just toot it against anything, and then, you know, if I have anything like that on the board, there's just gonna be a lot more trouble than this one actually was. Cloud Shift, for bouncing some creatures. That can be useful. Good old Lanora Elves. Wormcoil Engine, I just like that one. Sun Titan, haven't really got to. I haven't been drawing that one. Then I'm just trying this. I think it fits well. These ones, because usually I pretty fast I can get a creature with power more than 4 or greater on the battlefield. So because of these kind of things. And this one I like because, yeah, if it dies again, I might be putting a few 3/3 elephants on the board. Really nice. alpha. This enchant. That's the reason it's there, because it's alpha. No, it's a... I think there could be something better, actually. Mace of Id. Just like that one. Might come in handy. I just added Quicksilver Amulet on there, so I could cheat my fatties on the board. That one I just put in. Might come in pretty handy. And a few... Because like I said, usually I might have a big creature on board that can kill other creatures pretty easily when that pops up. There we go. Sundering Crowd. Get to destroy an artifact or an enchantment and then populate, which might be pretty fun. Time of Need. Just looking for a legendary. Commune with Nature. Lets me dig up creatures. Another game changer card, I think. Well, the tutor right there. After a while, I'm kind of like, me. I could just... I think I could just ramp up. Put more ramp instead of that. Would get me to probably be better, I actually think. Birds of Paradise. Got to have best mana dork ever. Then I put that in yesterday. And a creature I could dig up with the Time of Need, or, you know, and then put them board. And that's another reason why I have to fix up the mana base. One with Nature, so I can dig up the basic lands. Pacifism. Another Aura. Actually doesn't work with this, but it's still an enchantment, so has some synergy. Sylvan Library. I'm just like, if I'm gonna play green, that's probably gonna end up in the deck. Snake Umbra, guess +1/+1, drawing card, and Totem Armor, so that's nice. Tack Rusk. Well, like I said, I don't have the newest, hottest creatures, so I got that kind of stuff, and I was like, well, it does something, at least. This one's nice, I think. Gives my creature like hexproof, and makes it flying, essentially. This one has been fun too. Oh, sorry. Protection from creatures, and I draw a card when I play it. So, and there go, another one of these. I think a Doubling Seasons, at least, would be one of the cards to put into this deck. And if you have any suggestions, do let me know. Put them in the comments. Like I said, I had a long break from Magic, so there's lots of cool cards I don't know about. So let me know about those. Just write them up, and I'll be checking your suggestions on how to make this deck better. You know, So I will be checking your suggestions out. Let me actually. There we go. The camera angle a bit better. Wild Crow, yeah. Oh, and yeah, another game changer card. So that's, I think, the third game changer. And that's your bracket 3, basically. If you have more than that, then you're at bracket 4. And here's where it gets. So this is what I mean. So let's imagine these two cards. That one and that one. If I would include these in my deck, it would basically, with the bracket system as it is right now, make my deck a bracket 4 deck. Which is, well, kind of ridiculous in that sense. Well, would it actually be able to compete with the bracket 4 decks I would be running into, playing against? I don't really think so. That's the thing. So, and that's kind of like why I hope the whole like system with the game changers and everything, it's fun to keep an eye on it and see how it evolves and everything. But I would say, of course, at the moment, it is pretty flawed in that way. That, I mean, it's pretty clear that if I include these in the deck, it doesn't make it a bracket 4 power level deck. This won't miraculously turn into something that will be able to compete in that environment. I don't think so. And the thing is, I've been playing bracket 3 games with this, and I think, like I said, if we think about bracket 3 and what kind of decks fall into that bracket, there's a huge scale on the power level still. And this would be, I think, not that high on that scale. So yeah, that's kind of my take on the game changers and the whole bracket list. That in the end, you really do gotta, be perceptive and understanding on what it actually means to, and what the brackets actually mean, and why, for instance, the game changer cards by themselves don't really, in my opinion, define the bracket your deck falls into. I mean, I think there's probably those pre-con decks or even like commander decks you could buy that could like beat this one easily. I would assume so. If you have a different opinion, let me know in the comments and let me know why. But that's kind of the games I've been playing. That's kind of my take and how I see it. And yeah, the games have still been fun. I am not expecting to be like winning much bracket 3 games. I step into. I've been playing it on spell table. So, but yeah, I don't expect to be like really like winning or having like a real overkill situation where I just suddenly wipe everyone off the board. So no, I don't really see that happening. It can, at the moment, there can be something explosive happening with this, but again, like I said, I gotta kind of get lucky with my commander for instance, and and then also like draw good. So I would say like this isn't a consistently good deck in that sense. That there's a lot that could go right, and then there's a great possibility of my deck just going like me, and I end up not doing much or having much of a threat to the other players. But that's why I am making this better, and I would like to land somewhere on the like in the middle of the scale of bracket 3 decks with this one. So make a deck that doesn't turn into some weird powerful combo in 5 or 6 turns, but actually just slowly build up into a point where I can try and win the game by overpowering my opponent. So that's what I'm going for with this deck. But hey, let me know if you watch this, how you like the video, and give me suggestions. And like I said, let me know some cool cards I could put on here on the comments. That would actually help me a lot. And yeah, I'll see you next time with something else. All right.